Alright, how's it going, guys? So there's a few changes here you might notice. We now have a rolling mill, and we also have a wire mill. I got those made in the live stream, and I also changed the order that I have everything here, so we have this nice straight line here. I do still need to get the roll bender made yet, so we can curve our plates, but I can now take ingots to plates, which I'm working on stainless steel ones at the moment, and we can now make wires of any material, and I did that for making a new electrolyzer, because as you may remember from the last one, we need platinum wires. And as of last time we did it, it took one plate for one wire. Doing it this way, it's 2 to 1 as it is in the extruder. But we can't do the heavier materials in the extruder. So that's running over there. And we also changed this out to gas. I need to get a steel one made. I'm actually thinking about doing Invar. But I had to change it out because we ran out of glue and creosote. We, at the very beginning of the stream, connected, you'll see the pipe right there, connected that to our glue, and that stuff burns up really quick. So we burned all of that up. There was no creosote left. We don't have anything to run to make creosote currently, and we have plenty already made. So I just switched this over to gas. I'm going to switch these over to gas probably as well, and then we're going to run it all off of our natural gas. And I also had to disconnect this water line here that was going in to make our water and to make our sodium hydroxide from water and salt. That way I could run our spare light through, because the water takes priority over the items. And if we come over here, you will see a big change over here, which is our electrolyzer is now down here instead of way up there for aluminum. And I did make some more aluminum. We're going to make some more not far from now. But we also have another electrolyzer set up here. We're using a Invar engine. That way we're putting 64 RU out. So we're getting the 44 EU out for our electrolyzer. And this one is for CO2. So CO2 in the electrolyzer is 42 GU 876 ticks, and you get 2 oxygen and 1 carbon, and that's for 3 units of carbon dioxide. Well, running our aluminum over here, if we look at the uses here for alumina in the electrolyzer, you will see that we get exactly 9 units of CO2 out of this, which is 3 sets of CO2 in the electrolyzer, which means that we get 3 carbon out of here, which is exactly what we need to run this. So I actually have this output of our CO2 running up and into the top of here, which will, when we get through this coke dust I already had made, which I may take out anyways, that'll give us our carbon that we need to run with our alumina. So then all I have to do is input the alumina, and when we need more, these two fluids. And then we have also, I don't know what I did with all of my scaffold, but if we come up here, you'll see there is a filter on there that says blacklist filter for fluorine, and on the bottom is one that's whitelisted for fluorine, and there is our fluorine that comes out. So this keeps the fluorine from going into this pipe. So this pipe is currently empty. CO2 can only go through there, and all of our fluorine will come down here. And then once we get enough fluorine that we can mix it, we can mix that. If I look it up here, so I can get the right thing here. If we mix fluorine with aluminum dust, we can make molten aluminum fluoride. If we mix it with calcium, we get fluorite. And if we mix it with uranium hexafluoride, we get uranium hexafluoride. But this is the main one here. We can just mix our fluorine with hydrogen, and that will give us our hydrogen fluoride that we can throw back in through our system over here, which I am in the process of setting up this system over here. We do have a pipe now coming in right here from our tank out there, and this is actually bringing our hydrogen fluoride into the system. It's empty right now because this thing holds 81 units plus. So we have 42 in this one, we have 81 in this one. We need to run more fluorite through here, and that'll get all of that taken care of. And then we can run this, but we're still running on a limited fuel because we don't have a distillation tower and we don't have circuits to automatically shut things off. So we have plenty of this made, so I'm not really worried about running more of it currently until we get those or need it. We've also got this pipe back here added in. So if you look at the bottom here, this is whitelisted for water. This one again is whitelisted for water, and same here. This is the one that outputs and has to go in here. This puts the hexafluorous lactic acid out and puts that into here to make our aluminum fluoride, and sends the silicon back over here to make more of the hexafluorous lactic acid. And then this one puts out the aluminum fluoride. This one puts out the cryolite. And on each one of these, we have a filter as well that is blacklisting water. So because these are nanopore pipes, we can have cryolite and aluminum fluoride in each one of them. So it is no big deal once we connect a pipe here and this pipe to here, that both of those will be in this pipe. As you can see, we already have, because I put our drums from up here down there and went ahead and got them emptied, and be careful. That's hot. Actually forgot about that. On the last single player world, I actually had a cover on here that said caution hot, because you do not want to touch that. It will burn you because it's molten, and the temperature is 1560, 1285. So they're hot. Don't touch. So that has been taken care of, so we can now make aluminum way easier. We don't have to start up any boilers. We can just put some fuel in here and it's good to go. And this pipe is ran right out here and connected right there to our tank. And our grumpy little friend out there has brought us to the next thing that we are going to be doing soon. Where is my bow? Get rid of this guy before he gives us any issues. Alright, so I had actually forgotten about it when we had our last update, and he actually didn't give me any other time I would have rotten flesh drop from him. But no, the one time it could have made a good segue. No, can't be bothered. What a jerk. So, anyways, in the most recent update, there has been a change where rotten flesh can be shredded to rotten mincemeat. That's not new. But rotten mincemeat can be put in a fermenter and turned into biomass. So all of our rotten flesh can now be used to make biomass. 120 liters with water gives us our biomass. It's not a lot, but we have tons of it. As you can see, I have loaded in here, and it is already starting to run, which is going to slow up our processing a bit here. But we can grab these out of here. I actually already put a barrel up there for it. I need to get my wrench because it's over in the table at the moment. But we can now throw these in here, and we can use them to make biomass to make our ethanol. And if you're wondering, if we look up beef, we can take that, and there's a couple options here. We can put it in a fermenter, which will turn it into rotten flesh at 288 ticks and 16 GU. We can also throw it in a shredder, make it into mincemeat. We can ferment that as well. So if you want to do that, you can use regular meat. You just have to ferment it into rotten meat, and then you can use it. So you can't use meat directly. It has to be rotten. But you can do so, and that works with any of the meats. You can even use the scrap meat over here that we've been collecting. Here it is. So you can throw that in, ferment it into rotten flesh, and then use that as well. Although I prefer to take my scrap meat and shred it into mincemeat and cook that up, and then we can actually make it into cooked meat bars which we can use to make hamburgers. So that's what I will be doing with my scrap meat. I have plenty of zombie flesh to deal with making biomass out of. I actually got rid of the box we had over here for them. Now, one thing I was wondering about that I have not checked on is spider eyes. So, is there, if we juice them, we get small pile of mincemeat, and we get poisonous brew. If we shred it, we get grin powder from IC2. So yeah, it looks like if you want to use spider eyes, you have to squeeze it or juice it. You can get this poisonous brew, which can be fermented into harming brew, which can be canned into potions of harming. But you can also use spider eye. But that's going to give you the regular meat, which means you're going to have to ferment that to then be able to throw it into just like you would for beef. And unfortunately, we had to cut the stream a bit short this morning. Well, Saturday morning, because I was having a very bad fit with my coughing due to the allergies that happened in the fall, and I wasn't able to, talk, because every time I would start talking, I would start coughing. As you can hear, that's been taken care of. I got some cough syrup now that helps to keep it down. So we're probably going to have another live stream on Tuesday where I will finish this up, and we'll be making some more aluminum, and that way we can get some more filters done. But there's one thing I wanted to do today, and that is in the book here. We now have not under stainless, under aluminum. Our fluid filter has been fixed, so we can claim that and get our cookie. So we now have our item filter and our fluid filter, and we have the multiple item filter, Ordic filter, item and fluid filter, and our multiple fluid filter blocks. But I want to make the multiple item filter today, and for that we need a galvanized steel machine casing, 2 electrum pipes, and 2 item filters, which we have 2 item filters here. So I'm going to get the electrum made we need, which means we will need 3 silver and 3 gold, and galvanize me up a machine casing, and I will be right back with you, and we're going to get this made, and I'll show you what we're going to use it for. Actually, let's come over here real quick to Machine Age. We now have our wire mill done, so we can get our cookie for that. And we have our rolling mill done, so we can get our cookie for that. So that needs my friend Bender, which is the roll bender. That's for making the curved ones. And then we have the former, which is for rails. I will make it, but I don't really need it currently. And then the next major machine that we need to get made is the cutting machine. And the reason why we... oh, wait a minute, wrong one. This one takes a steel buzzsaw. We can do this one at any time. but there is also a steel version of it, which we will be making. Let's do buzzsaw instead. So this one, which actually needs cobalt brass, which cobalt brass is that combination. You need a piece of aluminum to do so, along with cobalt and brass. And this one will actually unlock our ability to cut our gems here into plates directly. So if we look at, say, this exquisite goshenite, we can do it with a handsaw, which will give us 3. But if we do it in the buzzsaw, it'll give us 4. So this is what will unlock us being able to make those plates, which means if we need to make anything else that needs a diamond plate, we can actually cut a regular diamond with this into a diamond plate. We don't have to have a flawless or an exquisite for that. We also can make gem tools this way as well, because gem tools need a plate. So if you're wanting to make gem tools, if you happen to find a good gem vein, that's what you're going to need. So we're going to be making one of those somewhat soon. But we're going to make the regular one first, just for cutting up our wood. But we'll get to that later. I'm going to get to cooking, and I'll see you in just a minute. Alright, I got my electrum cooked up. And as you can see, I did it as plates, because we're going to go ahead and hammer these out. Electrum can't be done in here to make pipes, and so that means we still have to do it in our little jig setup here with our roll bender, or our bending cylinder, I mean. And there is our casing, which we can bring over here and galvanize. Alright, so now we want to get all of this put together. So get this cleared. So we need 2 electrum pipes. We need our galvanized machine casing, our 2 item filters, and it should be a wrench and a hammer. And I think it's actually like this. Oh, I can never get these right. There we go. So there is our item filter. So this works just like an extender. Let's go ahead and grab our cookie real quick. So there we go. Grab our cookie. So this works just like an extender, and it also works like a item filter, because you have a huge place for items in there. So we're going to take this Generifier. I had talked about this a while back. Well, we are going to take this and we're going to bring it over here to our line here, and we have all of these fluorites here. Now we're going to have to do a little bit of work here for this. We don't have a blue at the moment, but most of these will be coming from over in our process as tinies or 1/72. So what we're going to do is we're going to put one of those in there, and then we're going to switch it to smalls just in case, and we're going to throw that in there. We're going to put those back together, and we're going to make it into tinies, and we're going to throw one of those in there, and then we're going to take a tiny and turn it into a 1/72nd, and we'll throw that in there. And now that'll give us all 4 possibilities of what the fluorite will come in that color, and we'll have to do this for each and every one of these. So we'll have to get more green and more blue for us to be able to do that. We will not put the regular fluorite in here because that will not go through as a it won't go through the generifier because it's already generic. But what we're going to end up doing is putting this generifier back here on the back side. So our fluorite is here. So we're going to put the pipe, get rid of this torch, fluorite is there. We're going to open this pipe here like that. We're going to put our thing here. We want to make sure that the opening is going this direction, and you'll see it held its items in there. So we can set all of this up out there, bring it back, and it'll be good. And then our generifier here will take items in the top or the left. So we want to put this in like that, and then we want to turn it that direction, because this is then the output. So then we will put our pipe here, which are actually I'm one off of where I need it. I need to move that back, but basically that's what we're going to do with it. And then what that's going to do is it's going to take the fluorites, even if I had these barrels here, which these barrels won't be here any longer, if I take these 2 pink ones, and you'll see this is at 4 right now. If I take these 2 pink ones now, and I throw them in here, they're going to go through that system, through that generifier, and we now have 6 regular and no pink. So that means we can now get rid of this pink one. And you'll see I got 27 1/72. We can throw those in as well because we put those into the filter. So they will as well go in here. And that's also a way that you can mix if you have, 27 1/72 of one and 58 1/72 or whatever of another one. They can mix together and combine and make you another one. And it also saves you on space, because now when we have our next live stream, I will go through all of these that we actually have. We'll have to keep the blue and the green for now until we get another one, but we will put all of those into that filter and get rid of these, so we won't have to have all the different colors. We can just have one basic fluorite, and it'll take care of all of them. So that is it for today. I will see you guys next time. By the way, you can use that as well for blue phosphorus to phosphorus, and you can also use it for the weird glowstone. This one here, gloomstone. You can use that as well for turning it into regular glowstone as well. So there's different things you can use that for. But the biggest one is saving space on fluorite. Anyways, I'm out of here. Y'all have a good one, and I will see you next time.